whether you trust Baker or not. Well, I do have
No,
some
I do
insight.
not.
Yeah, I do have some insight here. So on Cane Gang Radio last week, we interviewed Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke.
Oh,
And so he was talking about this because he coaches. Is it Norland that he coaches?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Norland.
Yeah, so he coaches Norland, and he was talking about the way that he mentors these young kids and tries to help them out in their life, and he's very invested in making a difference in these young kids' lives that
Yeah.
he coaches, and I respect that. And so what he said that he hasn't been sending kids to Miami on occasion because he says the main thing that he looks at a team, when he has like a 4-star linebacker, which he does this year. I can't remember the young man's name, but he has a really good linebacker recruit. He looks around at the position coaches. He said that is where he looks. It's not coordinators, it's position coaches. And he says, does that position coach help my young man that I have stewardship over get to the NFL? And in so many words, he said, Miami's not getting this kid. you know?
Yeah. I mean, why would you send a
Yeah.
5-star linebacker to Miami? What has Miami done recently in developing, high draft picks at the linebacker position? Bro, we have not had a linebacker finish in the top 50 in ACC, like in the top 50 for tackles in the ACC in like a number of years.
Probably Perryman was the last one, I'd assume.
Probably, but yeah, Roman was talking about that stat on the Orange Bowl boys, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, our linebacker play has been like, especially the last 2 years since Blake Baker has been here, it has declined so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that could go into that, whether it's scheme or whether, how much pressure the defensive tackles are putting on the linebackers. Because when it comes to filling gaps and stuffing the run and stuff, like those two positions are very symbiotic. So if the defensive tackles aren't getting a good push, it makes the linebackers' jobs a lot harder. And we've just struggled in that area the last 2 years. So maybe it's play calling, maybe it's personnel. I don't pretend like I'm a guru. So I'm just under the assumption that it's 50% each. And while Manny calling the plays might fix 50% of that, it's still going to be a problem.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I am. The part of the reason I'm not like overly, I mean, there's two reasons why I'm not overly excited about our linebackers. One, because of Blake Baker. I think he's an average coach at best. I think that hiring him here was a mistake. I don't think he was ever qualified to be a coach at the University of Miami. That's just me. I don't like. Yeah. I know that's very harsh for people to hear, and I know we have a lot of sensitive people out there. But it's the truth. And then the second part of it is that I am just not confident in the talent that we have at linebackers.
Yeah.
I just don't. I look across the board at linebackers. I don't see one guy. And striker, like striker is separate for me, honestly. Like I love the strikers that we have, Gil, Keontra, and then Chase Smith. Yep. But the rest of the the guys at linebackers, I don't see them and say, oh, that's a future all ACC player. I really do not. I think Corey Flagg is a very, I think he has a very high football IQ. Yep. But I don't see him as like a star at Miami. So I don't. When you ask about linebackers, I just say, eh.
Yeah, I'm the highest. I'm higher on Corey Flagg than any other linebacker, and I'm with you. Like, I think his ceiling is like second team all ACC.
Yeah.
100%. And that's like if he hits his absolute ceiling. So I like him a lot. But he's the guy that you hope you have next to a Denzel Perryman, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, am I wrong in saying that, or
no? Not at all.
I feel like he's a good guy to have line up next to a guy like Denzel, and then you feel like really friggin' great about your linebackers if that's the case.
Yeah.
And I'm talking Corey Flagg as a senior. I'm not talking Corey Flagg as a sophomore. Like, there's going to be some growing pains next year. Like, we should all expect it because he's very young.
I think the Alabama offensive linemen may eat our linebackers.
Oh my gosh.
I think they'll eat them.
Dude, Alabama, I'm convinced. I don't watch a ton of Alabama games, but I watched every snap of both playoff games. And I am convinced that they, like, their players are not the same species as our players are across the board.
Oh, you know why another reason is because they have actual position coaches.
Yeah, you mean like having Doug Marrone be the offensive line coach?
Yeah.
Like a guy who coached the Jacksonville Jaguars this year is now coaching 19-year-old Ben.
So tomorrow I'm obviously flying out and to go visit my brother in Mississippi, and where he lives, it's probably like 2.5 hours from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
I am so tempted to drive over there and just scout the area and see if I could see Nick Saban, or I just want to see what a football campus looks like.
Yeah. You should kick the doors in on their practice facility and just bring Saban back with you. Like, Nick, pack your things. We're going to Miami.
I'll give you $200, please.
Make your triumphant return to South Beach and coach our Hurricanes. I'm going to get a whole bunch of tweets. It's in Coral Gables, not South Beach.
Don't you know anything?
Yeah, right.
Oh, gosh. Okay. What do you say we do like 1 to 2 more questions?
Yeah, I'm good with that. And I just took myself off the page on Twitter that I wanted to be on. So give me one moment.
You're fine.
Where is it? Yeah, should we just talk about Josh Allen for about 2 minutes while I'm pulling this up?
I was so wrong about him. Oh my gosh!
I feel so vindicated, man.
Yeah, you should. You should. I'm an idiot. Like I will say this: he needs to shave.
Yeah.
His facial hair is really gross.
It is. It's very puby. Oh, yeah.
It's very puby. Oh, that's great.
Well,
oh, God.
Okay, so I have 2 questions left. The first one I think is going to be a little negative. So let's get that out of the way now. And then we'll end on a more positive note. Okay, so this is from Better Duck, Notorious Duck, as his name is now. Notorious Duck. Okay, so he says, why is everyone excited for a defense that can't stop the run? I know
who's excited about the defense.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are now that we have Tyreek Stevenson and that Manny's calling it. I think there's a lot of people on Twitter that are convinced that we will be top 20 again next year.
Oh, good Lord. That could happen. I'm not excited about the defense as a whole, though.
I'm not either. And, we've touched on it in a number of ways. But I look at our linebackers. I look at our defensive tackles. And I say we aren't going to be able to stop the run next year.
Yeah. Or, I mean, even our defensive ends, like DeAndre Johnson and, like, Jafari Harvey's good. He's not, like, a proven, like, player, though. I mean, same with DeAndre Johnson. He is okay. I mean, he's okay.
Well, I mean, how much more confident do you feel in him than Cam Williams?
I'm not confident in either. Yeah. Honestly, like, they're projects. Like, I'm not confident in projects. And so, and Nesta, I know a lot of people are going to be, like, thinking Nesta is finally going to take that next step. Sure, like, but that, like, maybe.
I believe it
but
when I see it.
Exactly, bro. And I swear to God, if I see another person say, Mark Pope has so much talent, I'm going to throw my shoes through a damn window.
All right.
If they are seniors and people are still saying, oh, but Nesta and Pope have so much talent, bro, you don't know a single thing about football and you were raised by chickens. and you are weak. Just be honest about these players and say what it really is. Like, Pope has not lived up to potential. Wiggins has not lived up to potential. Nesta has not lived up to potential.
Gervin Hall,
Gervin Hall. Like, Nesta could have a good season, but if, like, has he ever been consistent for more than 2 straight games here?
No. And you know, I'm with you. Like, when it comes to Gervin Hall and Nesta, it's like, yeah, I'm expecting them to be a solid, like, C+, B-.
Yeah.
But
nothing special.
Call me if something else happens. I think they're both capable of being very good. Okay? But I am not going to be the kind of guy who goes into a season like assuming that they're going to make a leap, because that is the easiest way to look like a complete fool, is assuming that assuming that players who have never taken a leap are going to finally do it, right?
And we learned our lesson with D. Wiggins last year.
Yeah. Well, wait, he had 1,000 yards, didn't he? that's my bad.
Oh, we were duped.
I took a 4-month nap, and I'm waking up just now, and I'm assuming that D. Wiggins had 1,000 yards last year.
And he didn't drop a single pass.
Yeah, he's never dropped a pass ever.
Neither has Pope, man. Pope was a 5-star.
Oh, man. Him and Rambo.
Oh my gosh.
No, we were lucky to get Mike Harley back. As much as I've been frustrated with Mike Harley during his career, like, that is an absolute
Mike Harley. Everyone, craps on Mike Harley. Mike Harley put together a very solid season last year.
He did. I think my problem was kind of some of his press conferences and the fact that, like, he hadn't really done much up until then, Yeah.
No.
So it's you're telling me you didn't put in work? Is that why you've been ridiculously average your whole career? And then he turned it on. It's like, hey, who knew? If you put in extra work, you're actually good.
You're like, hey, who's this guy?
Wow, if 4-star recruits try hard, they're actually decent. Who knew?
Oh, wow, if you stay after practice and work hard, good things happen.
Yeah, but
crazy.
That being said, we're just joking, That being said, like, we're very lucky to bring back Mike Harley, because we could be in a lot of trouble if he declared or went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Mike Harley left? What would we do?
We would be so screwed.
We'd be starting you at wide receiver next to Rambo.
Yeah, they'd be so lucky. I would go there and outwork almost everybody on that roster.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I hope that Rambo is 80% of KJ Osborne. I'm hoping. I'm not saying he will be or that he won't be, because maybe he's even better. I don't know. I'm just saying we would be so lucky if Charleston Rambo is 80% of KJ Osborne.
Yeah. KJ Osborne was... I just can't believe that KJ Osborne came here and was the example that he was, and it still didn't motivate our wide receiver Wiggins and Pope to work their ass off.
That dude is more Miami Hurricane in 1 year than any player that we've had any wide receiver that we've had since, who do you think? Like Stacey Coley, Braxton Berrios?
Oh, Braxton.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. Like, I don't care that these kids are from Miami Southridge. Like, it honestly doesn't matter to me. All that matters is that they come in and bust their ass and make fans proud. Wear the U proudly. Like, don't just come into Miami thinking that you're going to be a superstar and that you should have everything handed to you just because you're a 5-star recruit from Dade County. Like, stop it. It's so annoying, bro. Like, you have to work.
Agreed.
Oh, don't get me on this tangent again.
All right. Well, let's go to the one that's a little more positive then. This will be our last question. Also from 365 Canes Football. I agree. Very good follow. You should check him out. So he says, who are you most looking forward to seeing in spring ball? Give me 3 guys.
Okay. I am very excited. Like true freshmen or just players all around?
Just anybody.
Let's see. I am excited. I'm excited to see Elijah Arroyo, the true freshman tight end coming out of Texas. I think with Brevin Jordan gone, Arroyo has a very good shot to become tight end number 2.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see him.